I posed a simple question on my social media the other day, and the response was huge. What was the question? Would you go to church every Sunday for a year for $10,000? Let's do the math, shall we? $10,000 divided by 52 Sundays is $192 per week. $192 per church service. Could you do it? If the church service is only 1 hour, that's a hell of a wage. Even if it's 2 hours, you're still making $96 an hour. It's pretty good. What do you think? I had several people say that's an easy yes. I also had several people say that's an easy no. One of the most common comments that I got, common comments, was add a 0 or 2 to the end of that and we'll talk. I get that. It would be much easier to go to church every Sunday for a year for $100,000. I feel like most people would probably say yes. I made a poll here on YouTube. I did one on Twitter and I did one on Instagram. Let's take a look at some of those results. First up, the Twitter results. 992 votes. Would you go to church every Sunday for a year for $10,000? 44% said hell yeah. 56% said not worth it. And here are some of my favorite comments. Maybe it's just me, but $10,000 doesn't sound like a lot of money these days. That wouldn't even cover my rent for a year. For $100,000, I would put myself into a triggering environment for a year, sure. See, that's where I thought $100,000 is too easy. If I said, would you do it for $100,000, I felt like it was going to be 90% of people saying yes. But the fact that I did it $10,000 makes it a tougher question for people. Biddy Buddha says, I totally would go to church even if you didn't pay me, devil emoji. But she's kind of a different beast. So that's not even $200 a service, and the snacks suck. So that's about $192 per service, and I would have a lot of info to use for atheist activism. I said yes. I'm also poor, so I totally feel you on that one. Earl says, cash up front. Christians are notoriously unreliable. Ask any server who had found except Jesus where a tip should be. Fair point, Earl. Dead Alchemist says, you didn't say what kind of church. Satanic Temple, here I come. Boom. Start adding zeros, and I'll start listening to the offer. I like this reply by Peter, who voted yes, but said, I'd wear my atheist shirt, though. For $192 for a 2-hour session every week, I'd do it. That's far more than I make at my job. I would just pop in my headphones, and it would be over before I know it. Yep, free money for an opportunity to talk to people who may be indoctrinated into believing in magic. Yes, I'll take it. Question is, will they tolerate my presence and opinions? No, I value my weekend time too much for that bullshit. As you can see, people are falling into different groups here, and I've labeled a few of them, one of which is the loopholer. People who say, well, you never said that I had to stay the whole service. I would walk in for 5 minutes and then leave. Or sure, but I'd have my earbuds in the whole time. You never said this. You never said that, Kevin. You never specified. You didn't say what kind of church. You are the loopholers, and I applaud you because my poll was really pretty vague. It was hard to be super detailed about all the stipulations. Then you have the challengers. Yeah, I would do it as long as I can ask questions. Can I talk back to the preacher? I didn't really specify, so I answered some of these individually. Like, sure, you can talk back, but if you get kicked out, then the money is void. I like to have a little bit of fun with it. So on Twitter, almost 1,000 votes, 56% said no, they wouldn't do it for $10,000. On YouTube, 52% said yes, they would. As a pastor's kid, I would pay $10,000 to never hear a sermon or step foot in a church again. So Elise was not part of the 52%. Divine Song says, at first I thought, yeah, I'll just wear headphones. But energy is real, and I don't want to surround myself with that kind of energy. Sky Daddy Mythbusters says, I was kicked out of a 2-week Bible camp as a kid. A week into it, I doubt I'd last much longer in a church before being labeled an outcast and thrown out by the Pharisee, hypocrites, and scribes. Alicia says, I'm broke AF, so hell yeah. I'd be in attendance Sunday and Wednesday nights as well for that much. Emmy says, nah, I could never because I don't have that kind of patience to sit in a place like that for very long. Anthony wants me to make it $30K. And Todd, with one of my favorite comments, first instinct is no, but then I thought it might be worth it to start deconverting people from the inside. Todd is the mole. I'd say, let me tell you the good news about Jesus, unfollower. I dig it, Todd. So a couple more categories of people who responded to the poll. We've got the money-driven people who say it would be an easy yes. It's a simple business decision. It's $192 for an hour or two of my time. No problem. Easy money. It's more than I make in my job. Let's do it. Then we have the no chancers who say, I wouldn't do that for any amount of money at all. It seems a little out there for people to say no amount of money could make me go to church, but at the same time, there's been a lot of trauma that has resulted from church experiences. And then you have people who say, well, that $10,000 wouldn't even cover my therapy bill for what happens afterward. And then we have the on the fencers, though there have been people who commented yes, and then they come back and then comment no after they think about it a little bit. That's why I made this poll. I wanted people just to think about it a little bit. On Instagram, there were a few hundred votes, and it was 60-40 in favor of not worth it. Nope, because the therapy to undo the stress would cost more. I'd turn it into a blog review. I'd totally get paid to write shit. I'd rather die. Definitely. I would take notes, write a book about my experience, and make 10,000 plus. And here's one of my favorite responses. Stripping would be more profitable and way more fun. $10,000 every Sunday? Yes. $10,000 a year? Hell no. Content for my new Your Pastor's an Idiot live YouTube channel. Depends on the church, but probably not worth the time commitment. Absolutely not. 10K isn't nearly enough to offset the mental and emotional toll it takes. Can I get stoned, wear my headphones, and pretend to read my quote-unquote Bible with an ebook tucked inside? Go to church, take nap, make $200, repeat the next week. That's $192.31 every Sunday, and I get to laugh inside and also cry inside. Win-win. My mental health and self-image are worth far more than $10,000. So as you can see, the replies are all over the place, and the polls are kind of all over the place. The overall poll, I guess, leans toward no, it's not worth it, because YouTube only had 52 to 48% lead. So I think it was probably about 60-40 overall that say no. I would not go to church every Sunday for a year for $10,000. I got the most interesting replies on TikTok, where a lot of people stitched my video and thought that I was a Christian asking the question, and they became all skeptical, like, why are you asking this? Who's gonna pay it? What's your angle, boy? I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm an atheist, man. I'm just asking a hypothetical. Yeah, well, there's always something extra behind a hypothetical question, boy. Not really, just a fun poll question. Please don't kill me. So what would you do, viewer, listener? I think I would do it, and let me tell you why. Here would be my strategy. I would go to 52 different churches. They would be different denominations, different religions. I would just want to have, it would just be a pretty cool experience. Maybe I'll do it on this channel, but that would be, I would like to have that because I would get to have the content for this channel, get to have those experiences, and make a couple $100 a week. Why not? I wouldn't want to do it for the rest of my life, but for a year, yeah. It would be tough because Sundays are for football, you know, but I would still do it. What about you? Would you do it? And if you say no, what dollar amount would it take for you to do it? Drop that down in the comments and let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. I like to have a little bit of fun on this channel. Thank you to all of my patrons and to my channel members here on YouTube. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, you don't need a God to be good. I had several people. I had several people. Oh my God, several.